Hello YouTubers, today I'm going to be showing you how to replace the rear brake pads on the 2014 Lexus GX460. Now the good thing about that, this vehicle shares the same platform with the Toyota 4Runner. So you 4Runner fans out there, you can also use this video as well to help you replace your rear brake pads. Okay guys, these are some tools that you may want to have around when you're about to replace the brakes on your 2014 Lexus GX460 or your 4Runner. You want to have a ratchet tool, 17mm socket, again 17mm socket, C-clamp, or a piston compression tool. You can get either of these at any of your auto parts store, and Walmart may very well have them as well. A flat tip screwdriver, your brake pads and accessories, which is your anti-vibration springs, and some grease, because you're going to want to put a little grease on the back side of your brake pads. These are the tools that you'll probably need when you get ready to start this job. Always practicing safety before you start. Go ahead and chalk your front wheels. Next, go ahead and jack your vehicle up. I always use either a jack stand or a second jack as my safety or my backup. Next, go ahead and remove your lug nuts. And naturally take off your tire. Next, with a 17mm socket, go ahead and remove your mounting bolts on your caliper. You have two, one at the top here, then you have one down here at the bottom. Go ahead and 17mm, remove those two bolts. Once those two 17mm bolts are removed, just go ahead and slide off your caliper. And put the caliper somewhere where you won't damage your brake line. And here are your brake pads right here. So you're gonna start to working those brake pads off. To remove your pads, I normally get like a flat tip screwdriver and place it like right between the discs and the brake pads. Just kind of wiggle that pad out. Just continue to wiggle it out of there. As I say, use your screwdriver to wiggle it out. And there, brake pad right there. And do the same for the back side. Doing the same for the back side. Now next, you notice the anti-rattle springs right here. Some people tend to keep them on there. Some may choose to replace them. I'm going to replace mine today. And those come in your brake kits. You can see it right there. Your brake kit comes with a number of accessories. Like I said, you can just replace those anti-rattle kits. And by just simply taking your flat tip screwdriver and just taking, just removing it. Should be pretty easy. Now, before I begin to install my brake pads, I normally put like a little grease on the outside to prevent any kind of rust or sticking to the caliper. And I also do the same thing for the anti-vibration springs here as well, to keep it lubricated so it won't rust. Now it's time to install your brake pads. Just simply position the brake pads at an angle right there by the vibration spring. Slide it in there and actually push it in. There it is. And do the same thing for both sides. As I mentioned, you're going to slide the other brake pad in just like you did on the first side in the same way. Right there by the anti-vibration springs. Just slide right in. Now you're going to take your piston compression tool and put it on the caliper like I have it right here. And what you're going to do, you're going to continue to screw it in until it compresses this piston right here. Okay? Yes, again, continue to screw and turn this piston compression tool until this piston right here is flush with this rubber garment around here. Get it back as far as possible, because what you're doing here, this caliper has to go over some thicker brake pads than you took off. Your old ones that you took off were thin. Now these new ones that are going on are going to be thick. So you're going to have to push that all the way back as far as you can get it. So now that the pad is completely back as far as I can get it, it's time now to take that caliper and position it around the brake pads where it goes. And once that is done, you see, once that's back on there, now it's time to install your 2 mounting bolts back into the caliper. And before I install the bolts back again into the caliper, I normally try to just lubricate it all around this threaded portion as well as the insert portion here with grease, because it's going into an area where it will require some grease, or garment area right here. See that garment? So once you just place grease around it, just simply go back into the caliper housing and install those 2 bolts. Have one at the top again, one at the bottom. It requires a 17mm wrench to install. Now take your 17mm socket in the ratchet and just go ahead and tighten those mounting bolts down. Okay, once you have your caliper mounting bolts installed, please verify the torque specification for this top and bottom bolt with your Lexus dealership. I'm going to tighten mine to a pretty good tight snug, but again, I will verify with the Lexus dealership to make sure that I am torquing those bolts properly. Okay, once that's done, your brake job is pretty much over. All you have to do from that point is to go back and install your tire and let your vehicle down, and you're complete. Okay guys, that's all as far as installing the brakes on the 2014 Lexus GX460 as well as a 4Runner, because both vehicles are on the same platform. Hope this helps. Again, I'm not a professional. I'm just a guy who works in the garage trying to make it a little easier so you can save some money. But at the same time, make sure that you follow any kind of safety requirements and verify your torque specification with your dealership. Take it easy and hit that channel and subscribe. Thank you.